savior. Bleach me to dust, let darkness take this over. Unveil the sorry, death and strawberry. The bravest, the only will to believe. Calling me, the shrieking alone. Ghost inside of me, hauntingly hypnotize me. Chasing lights into the night, through black and white. This blade might buy my soul. There's nothing I've left to lose. I owe this life to you. Lay me on the moon, a shadow, and bring this to closure. May this dream of our souls, the sun live on forever. Awaken in the rain, if I'm destined to be a savior. Bleach me to dust, let darkness take this over. Unveil the sorry, death and strawberry. The bravest, the only will to believe. Calling me, the shrieking alone. Ghost inside of me, hauntingly hypnotize me. Chasing lights into the night, through black and white. This blade might buy my soul. There's nothing I've left to lose. I owe this life to you. Lay me on the moon, a shadow, and bring this to closure. May this dream of our souls, the sun live on forever. Awaken in the rain, if I'm destined to be a savior. Bleach me to dust, let darkness take this over. Unveil the sorry, death and strawberry. The bravest, the only will to believe. Calling me, the shrieking alone. Ghost inside of me, hauntingly hypnotize me. Chasing lights into the night, through black and white. This blade might buy my soul. There's nothing I've left to lose. I owe this life to you. a savior. Bleach me to dust, let darkness take this over. Unveil the sorry, death and strawberry. The bravest, the only will to believe. Calling me, the shrieking aloud. Ghosts inside of me, hauntingly hypnotize me. Chasing lights into the night, through black and white. This blade, my pride, my soul. There's nothing I've left to lose. I owe this life to you. Lay me on the moon, the shadow, and bring this to closure. May this dream of our souls, the sun live on forever. Awaken in the rain, if I'm destined to be a savior. Bleach me to dust, let darkness take this over. Unveil the sorry, death and strawberry. The bravest, the only will to believe. Calling me, the shrieking aloud. Ghosts inside of me, hauntingly hypnotize me. Chasing lights into the night, through black and white. This blade, my pride, my soul. There's nothing I've left to lose. I owe this life to you.
And hello everyone, welcome to another one of my Thursday competitive events. Looks like everybody who's gonna show up is here, so let's get started with the tournament. It'll be Pekla versus me to start, which will be a banger. And actually, Death Daisy will be fighting Piper right after this as well, so that will be interesting. I suspect Marina versus Alex with that one. No, you're not in yet. Leonardo, what was his name? He's called something else on Discord. Insignificance, yeah. You'll be up much later. You're actually in the 5th round. But it is double elimination, so if you do lose your first fight, you still get a chance. And in the lower bracket, I know Venator usually does like best of 1 for the sake of time, but it'll still be best of 3 down there, so you'll get plenty of chances to fight it out. Obviously not a place you want to be, but you do get 2 chances. Okay, Peckle is not responding. I'll give him a little bit longer, and I think we'll just move on and come back later. Yeah, no problem. The reason I don't let everybody on right away is just for maximizing the bandwidth available to the fighters. My connection is pretty robust. If I set things up properly, I could probably let everyone in if it was a smaller tournament than this, but still would rather leave that bandwidth open. I'll join commentators too while we wait. And that's so you can listen to me talking without having to listen to the stream in the background. And if anyone wants to join me for commentating, the door is open. As I've said before, I have a bit of a flu, but I'm hanging in there, so I'm still more than happy to host this for everybody. Did get a little bit of rest too, so that helped. Okay, Death Daisy. Let's do Death Daisy against Piper. Because I don't think Pekola is here right now. He'll probably be here soon. And we'll just go down the list as needed. And come back when Pekola is around. The philosophy den is still going. Yeah, that chat's been going on for quite a while over there. Anyway. Death Daisy, you'll be on the left. Piper on the right. There we go. And as I said, just let me know if you guys want to commentate with me or anything. Happy that you muted it. Yeah, it's a bit of a waste of time a lot of the time, I think. Because we basically just come back to the same topics over and over again, and if there's a strong disagreement, that usually does not change. But that's just how it is. It's not a big deal. We're all friends at the end of the day. Death Daisy again on the left, Piper on the right. Hopefully Piper's able to go. And also let me know if there's any like lag issues. We've got Plebeian around, we've got some other people, and worst case scenario we can try other hosts. But I think my connection should be pretty good. I'm not seeing any fluctuations on my end. Is Piper here able to... Big delay in Discord audio. If you mean the stream is delayed relative to the Discord, that's because the YouTube is delayed no matter how you set it up. You can only change how much it's the opposite. Hang on. Interesting. Anyway, let's just continue for now. Discord is 10 seconds delayed from the stream. That's pretty wild. At least that means the stream is doing well, but I wouldn't have expected that. So that's a kill there for Piper. He's actually switching it up here using Hassan. Marches forward there, gets cut in the leg. That lowered his mobility, but he continues to march forward and gets another kill. That's the Death March. Hassan is pretty famous for that. Plebeian popularized it. And it's working very well. Piper just playing as he usually does. He never moves back, he always moves forward. And it's actually making it hard for Daisy to stop him. Nice cut to the arm, though. Yeah, I'm glad to see Hassan as well. We don't see him very often. People often view him as too simple. And like I said, best of 3, of course, so you got a chance after this if you lose the first round. That's hit to the head. Push, yeah. Hassan's got a pretty nice push as well. Yeah, I think Hassan does fit Piper's style as well. And it just so happens his footwork is a little bit similar to Alex's, but more manual. It doesn't move on its own. There's a push, but also got cut, so it wasn't that effective. Piper goes forward, that cut doesn't quite connect. Well, just give it your best shot. It's obviously a very tough competitive environment, but if you play a lot and get the experience, you'll get better in no time. Always gotta start somewhere. And Daisy actually making a bit of a comeback. Showing some tenacity there, but Piper ends up winning in the end. Okay, fighters just switch sides. I'm just switching your names. That is the thing about Marina. If you end up in a brawl with her, she tends to lose against sabers that can cut faster or hit a bit harder. This type of thing. I assume they were on the wrong side just now, because it looked like Piper was picking Marta. Yeah, that's okay. It goes with something besides Hassan or Alex, actually, using a rapier this time. Love the sidestep A with Marta. But yeah, the shield catches the rapier, and then there's another hit. 12 hours gameplay in Steam, but it's not enough. Yeah, but you'll get more as you go. As Plebeian was kind of saying earlier, the best experience is definitely against players. Piper just marches forward, but no follow-up after the push. That was a good try, though. That jab goes straight to the face, though. Marta's stabs are actually quite accurate. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think Plebeian is right. Alex is actually much the same way with many of his cuts. So I do think Piper could make Hassan work very well. Because the footwork and the way it works, the way the moves work and stuff like that is actually very similar. And he likes moving forward, so... Daisy getting a lead this time. Piper just goes forward with a punch. Like, that's what he does, and he does it with Marta as well, somehow. You'd think the rapier is a longer weapon, a stabbing weapon, and you don't want to be close with it, but... Almost... Was Daisy run through the neck just now? I want to rewatch that. It might have just got caught in the neck. Either way, she won it. Okay, so I think technically the rapier missed, but it got caught in the neck model somehow. It looked kind of funny, though. Yeah, I get what you're talking about, Plebeian. Sidesteps there from Daisy, and Daisy wins one. So let me just turn game capture on. It doesn't make that much difference, but... I think it's nice for viewers that they don't have to see me clicking off and stuff. Having quite a lot of lag. Okay. Well, let me know if it's getting worse or anything like that. Piper hasn't mentioned anything. I'm not sure what it's like for him. Goes with Alex now, going through all 3 of the characters he's played lately. Alex is probably the one Marina will hate the most, and that's one of the reasons why. There's a lot of reasons why, actually, because Alex is pretty damn strong, but... Yeah, good push, he can go low, he can sidestep, he outdamages Marina by a long shot, he has more HP, more reach. I'm surprised that didn't land. Daisy getting a bit lucky there. She'll need all the luck she can get against somebody as good as Piper. That punch after the push is nasty. I think Piper was looking for a cut, but the punch turned out to be better. Yeah, he is pretty strong. And Piper is just known for all-out offense with Alex, so it's very tough to deal with. You might notice he even plays Martha like that. That's just his style. And it works very well with Alex because he has good ways of finding angles around your guard if you let him walk all over you. Those head bobs that Piper is famous for, just the cinema too, is a key part of his style. But Daisy was able to call him out in the middle of one of those. That push in the back X seems to be pretty reliable. And actually still very close, but Piper has a lead. And now momentum is once again on his side as he got another flag after the push. One more needed, goes low, that's it. Good fight though, guys. That was actually closer than it initially seemed like it would be. So Daisy put up a fight. She's still in the tournament, of course, just in the losers bracket now. We'll come back there later. I think Pekla said he's around now, so we can just do our fight if that's the case. Yeah, that's all good. Alright, let's get Pekla in here to fight me. Pekla, you'll be on the left to start us off. And that will complete round 1. Unfortunately, some people do have to fight a bit more. That's just how it goes when you have 10 people. Pekla needs... Did I give him keyboard? Hang on. Yeah. Alright. Beautiful. Yeah, I didn't mean to highlight Marta. I'm obviously using Bara. GG. Switch sides now. Yeah, Barbash is pretty cool. Unsurprisingly, my favorite style too in the game. Although a German longsword would definitely contest that if it was well done. I will say that. Zera doesn't really count because he's drunk, but that's just a personal thing. I know a lot of people do like Zera. GG. Nice fight. Tough Tarnovsky as always, Pekola. One of your best characters, without a doubt. The yawn was good too. Definitely not easy either. Can you get a boomstick for your fight against Oak? Yeah, the gun. That brings back memories there. Koala said that Oak made a mistake in one of his fights some years ago, and that's that he didn't use a gun. Been a bit of a meme on the server ever since. That was back when he used talc, but still. Okay, Mike against Oak, speaking of. Then after that, we'll actually do Glorious Purpose against Plebeian, and then we'll do uh, Insignificance against me. Call him by his Discord name. Okay, everybody's here. Excellent. Okay, Oak will be on the left, and Mike will be on the right. Craziest Tarna around, yeah, definitely. And there's some really good Tarnas, but as far as, like, craziness, Pekola's definitely has to be up there. Mike Barra, yeah. Obviously no hard feelings for Oak, but I would love to see Mike excel here. This is a tough one for him. Matchup-wise, I think it is quite fair. I don't think Barra is outmatched here, per se. But I don't think he has any major tools that work extremely well against Laszlo either, if that makes sense. I think it's just very fair for both of them. And you gotta get creative to land consistent hits on Laszlo. You'll fight with me, actually, since I won my fight. Insignificance. Yeah, when you get very good at the game, you learn how to play aggressively instead of just counter. And really, I think if you get very good at this game, you learn how to bring both defense and offense together, so you're doing both at once. You're not just parrying and riposting, you're thinking of, how do I interrupt my opponent with an attack of my own? And stuff like that. Some people do it more than others. Some people do prefer exchanging or parry riposting, but yeah. If you want to excel at this game, you've got to be good at both. And be active, I think. Especially if Saber. Saber is a very active weapon type in general. And speaking of, although I think Mike is doing well, Oak is just exploiting every small mistake that is made. Very precise player here who's been with us for a while. And Mike is struggling to make anything happen. The Y cuts don't seem to be landing. Oak is ready to defend them. I like trying to go low, although Oak says he can also go low. Brutal, just surgical with those cuts. Some taunting there by Mike. The Thunder Punch out of measure, and I don't know if it would have landed anyway. It's kind of iffy sometimes. But it was a good try. The sidestep there. But he didn't do the X sidestep, he just did a dash and I think tried a snap cut, which is also a good idea, but maybe the X sidestep would have worked better. Flawless victory for Oak. Just when Oak gets momentum against you, it's a bad time for anybody. Doesn't matter how long you've played the game for, Oak is just a demon with Laszlo. Yeah, Mike is actually a solid Barabash. It's just Oak is on his own level, even amongst pro players. And actually, I have seen Mike do well against Oak before. There was one game where he actually did extremely well and won, but Oak is a tough opponent for anybody, so today it looks like Mike is going to need to make some adjustments. There's a nice kick into the YY. Mike getting the first flag of this match and the first flag of the round, so that has to be pretty good for his morale. The sidestep there, again, maybe he would have done better with the sidestep X instead of just dashing. Bunch of Maestro specials, we call those, the YY combo. But Oak is very patient, and Oak forces him against the wall there. I love the pressure from Oak, but I think Oak is getting a little bit too aggressive here, and Mike is able to capitalize here. Goes low, nice try, but doesn't hit the leg. And I think they both hit each other. That was an interesting interaction because Laszlo's neck seemed to break, but nonetheless, they both hit each other. Yeah, as far as consistency, I think Oak might be number one. Down 4 a day. Able to secure a flag for Oak. Actually, that might be down back A. I keep calling it down 4 a day, but I think it's down back A for Laszlo. Good exchange there. I think they just had a brief lag spike, but they're back at it. Oak having to adjust a little bit to Mike now, but I'd say he's doing a good job of that, mixing those lunges in with his in and out style. And this is how Oak likes to play. That's a little unfortunate there that the blow didn't land, but I don't think it would have stopped Oak from hitting the head anyway, so. Another one to the head. But this is what Oak does. He moves in and out, trying to get you to whiff and overextend yourself, then he will immediately capitalize on your mistake. And even if you don't bite, you just stand there for a while, it's still... He will just dictate the fight from there. And so you don't want to be passive against Oak either. Because he will take the opportunity to reach past your guard and hit you anyway. Good punch, but does it back wide. I make that mistake all the time, too. It's totally understandable. You don't expect the punch, you expect the cut, so you try to retreat out of there. Laszlo blips, yeah, there's a good way to put it. A cut there, and a bunch of cuts from Oak. That barrage of cuts, very forcing, and the back Y able to get past as Mike moves forward into it. Mike needs to change something here. Oak still seems to be dominating this round. Good low cut into Maestro special. Nicely done. By the way, we call it Maestro Special because there's a player in the server named Maestro who's famous for just throwing YY all the time and just playing overly aggressive at times, at least when he plays Yawn, so that's why we call the YY combo that. Again goes the low cut, but unfortunately it's not able to connect this time. The punch, but doesn't reach with the Maestro Special. That was a very good try, but maybe YX would have been better. It is, yeah. And Bar has some other low cuts, too, that work well here. Big cut from Oak. Wow, just grabs him out of the YY, and Oak takes it, showing some style points. Okay, Glorious Purpose against Plebeian now. Blame the absence of a boomstick. Yeah, that would have been helpful. And Oak is a player from Russia, too, by the way, so his ping's pretty high, but you can't tell watching him play, no matter what host he's on. As long as the connection is stable, of course, which it is, it seems like. He just goes ham. Okay, Glorious on the left, Plebeian on the right. And then I will fight Insignificance after this. Yeah, especially that second round, Mike was doing a great job. Also, this is a nice fight here as well because Glorious is plebeian student. At least that's my understanding. A student of Zera. So, Glorious has learned how to play the character as they've sparred a lot in the server, so. Really excited to see what's going to happen here. Obviously, Plebeian has a little bit of pressure being the Zera main. Doesn't want to lose the mirror, but Glorious has also shown promise for Zera, so not an easy opponent. Good exchange. Both of them have suffered a hit. That blade bash there, but tired. Nice patience there by a Plebeian. Nice, holy spans. Stab there. Thrust, and they both trade hits again. Both trying to find a bind so they can get that thrust in there. Good defense. But Plebeian switches it up there. Bit of a tempo switch and goes the BX combo. Upcut and downward cut. Nice sidestep there, the samurai is what we call that. Into the X cut. Good stab by Plebeian. Set that up perfectly as his opponent gave him an angle. Bit of a thrust there. Another one attempted, and the sidestep does not connect, but the follow-ups thankfully do. I think a deserved flag for Glorious for sure. Good follow-ups on his part, despite the initial issue. Good hit there. Glorious backs off, though, doesn't overextend, and then a sidestep there. Good exchange once more. Whiffs those cuts there, and he immediately gets punished. Nice by Plebeian. Good hit there. They both suffered hits at this point. Nice, another thrust there. Plebeian very good at slipping those in out of nowhere. Good combo, but gets punished by the stab. No kill just yet, but Plebeian's low in stamina. Thrust of his own there, and the cut tries to punish it. Not quite. And they both exchange attacks there. Nicely done. Glorious not able to land a hit. They both threaten the holy stance or the low stance there, but Plebeian just marches forward and lands out of his own. And although Plebeian was behind earlier, he is now looking to win this whole thing, being up a flag, and there you go, he takes it. After parrying that stab, he lands an attack of his own. Nice. Again, starting out with a bang, but Glorious getting ahead by 1 flag. Thrust is parried, but Plebeian parries with his own cut just in the nick of time, and almost lands a hit with the stab. That was a very close flag, wow. Plebeian clutched it there, but still wasn't able to win out. He was kind of on the worst end of that. Very good try, all the same. Retreat attacks there, but Glorious able to score another one. Upcut there, but that exposes his hand to getting hit. Sidestep results in a double. Plebeian just goes in and takes the hand off. Again, Plebeian threatening to dash in, but I think that was pretty smart in his part. It was a bluff charge. But then lands a hit to the hand. And now it's actually quite equal. Plebeian with the sidestep, but it's not able to get out of the way of that series of cuts. Nice stab. And Glorious needs one more. B cut, nice. Glorious nearly took it there. Thrust out of measure, and Plebeian's thrust doesn't kill, but it does get damage. Big slash there, and they actually trade a little bit. Last ditch back Y. Thrust there, and actually Plebeian does win the trade. This one's very close now. Thrust as Glorious tried the sidestep, and now it's equal, completely equal. Anybody's round. Big cut there, beats the blade, but not close enough to land a hit, and that thrust was a little bit of an overextension on Glorious's part. Plebeian takes it, but very close match, guys. Okay, insignificance now, you're fighting me. Go ahead and join the parsec. And you will be on the left to start us off. Let me know if you need keyboard or anything. Alright, good luck. I have no idea what character he plays, but we'll see. Just gonna turn that off completely. It's off already, but... Keyboard? Alright. Yeah, no worries. Thanks for letting me know. So you'll take the left then? Just press G. Make sure you click on the window too if it's not working. That can also help. Maybe we just need to back out. Gideon, interesting. Fun matchup. So good luck. Alright, nice round. Yeah, some things to work on, but I would say he definitely does have promise. You're on the right side now. You're not done just yet. Ping is just insane. What is your ping? It should be playable ping. You'll get better with higher ping as you go. Many EU players do play on North American hosts and vice versa, so. Alright, I'll give Isabella a shot, but I'm still not gonna give him anything better than anything worse than my best. So good luck. Alright, GG. Of course, in significance, you're not done yet. You do still have a fight in the loser's bracket. So I wish you good luck with that. And you're actually in the loser's bracket round 2, so that's good. Chestus against Piper now. And after this fight, we will actually head down to the loser's bracket, speaking of. You came close once, though, Daisy. There's that one game we had where I had to really lock in because if I lost one more flag, I would have lost. So, all right, Jesus on the left, Piper on the right. Yeah, I don't doubt it. Because you keep getting better. As I said, Cheeses on the left, Piper on the right. And Piper is actually going to with Hassan, while it is Cheeses who goes with Alex. Cheeses has also played quite a bit of Alex, so. Piper just marches forward, but yeah, gets sidestepped eventually. That was a good try, though. He did land a hit. But Alex is pretty tanky. Marches forward, though, this time. Hit to the head. The jump from Jesus there. Piper goes ham, but the upcut stops him in his tracks. And now he's getting very tired. Goes for a grab or something. Push. Wow. Piper still gets it in the end. Blocks low, and yeah, that's a double. He tried to follow it up, but Jesus had an attack of his own ready. Upcut to the chest there. And Piper, you can see he just doesn't stop moving forward. Good sidestep by Jesus, though. Trick shot to the head does not kill. And there's another one for Jesus. Piper might need to switch back to Alex, his actual main. And Chessus takes it. Quite a dominant performance there. Interesting, going with Sam now. Double, but nice sidestep there from Chessus takes a flag. Yeah, I'm not surprised he switched to Alex. Alex is, in theory, a good matchup here, actually, against Samuel. But Chessus seems to have some tricks in mind to deal with Alex. Those low cuts from Sam can be pretty dangerous. Good Vinard spare, the sidestep Y. Piper keeps moving forward, punch there, but can't follow it up. That was a good try. Pretty powerful punch, but... Nice. Nice. Piper needs one more. Make it 1-1. There it is, that windmill. Alright, I just had something delivered, so I'll go get that real quick. You guys can still fight, of course. I'll just be right back. Alright, I'm back. So it looks like Piper got it in the end. Now we head to the losers bracket here. Glorious against Pekala. Still got a couple more stuff to bring in, but I'll let you guys in. Just so we can keep the tourney going. So Glorious, you'll start on the left. It's obviously still best of 3. So make sure you guys switch sides, of course. The names probably won't be accurate like before when they start switching, but you guys will figure out who's who. Alright, Glorious needs keyboard as well, I believe. Just let me make sure he's got it. Pekala on the right. What's up? No, he's in. Alright. I should be able to select. Alright. Some mind games by both of them. But Glorious obviously main Zera, so no surprise. Yeah, they both go with Zera. Might make things a tad confusing, but obviously Glorious were started on the left. Anyway, I'll be right back again. I'll just let this fight play out while I go get the rest of the stuff in. Alright, I'm back. Looks like it's been an epic battle. We're still in the first round, I believe. So that works out pretty well. Very nice exchange in this flag. Push there and a strike to the head. Pekkala takes it. Most stressful mirror. I could see that, yeah. Especially against Pekkala. And best of 3. Even in the loser's bracket, so we fight on. It's not over yet. Pekkala goes with Isabella this time. Character he's played a fair bit lately, actually, so... Combination there, but that results in a double. Nice to see another longsword fight here. And Glorious takes the first one with that quick stab. Glorious big G purpose. Love it. Pekkala counters that cut with one of his own actually, but it's still a double after that stab. Wow. That was a really cool counter, but Pekkala could not secure the kill without a double. Big slashes there, the dash in, not able to punish in time, but nice try. Good sidestep, sniping the hand. Bunch of cuts from Pekkala again. And there's a good thrust. Good sidestep. Wow, nice exchange. Pekkala is the one who has his back against the wall, though it doesn't happen very often. Dodges that thrust. Another thrust is countered in a nice combination, but no kill. Yeah, I think Glorious is really... He's a really good Zera player, and... Although he started with Marina a little bit, Zera is definitely his best character. There's no question. Zera just has been a perfect fit for him. His style is always a joy to watch. Pekkala's as well, mind you. But really love the things I'm seeing from Glorious lately. Making good use of the slower combos that Zera has too, like still using the advantages they have to the best of his ability. Switching up the tempo or breaking through the guard, these sorts of things. Good punish there by Pekkala though. Keeping things tight, which is what Isabella wants to do in this matchup. Sidestep out of measure, not quite able to punish in time, but that was a good try. Good exchange. And Glorious actually takes that one after the trade. Holy stance. High guard cut actually grazes the hand there. And a blade beat into another cut. Wow. Excellent from Pekkala. That thrust finds its mark there. Pekkala with a bunch of cuts and then does a snap cut out of nowhere when Glorious doesn't expect it. Goes low. It's a double. Nice. That holy stand stab there, connecting. And Glorious is very close, actually, to evening this round out. They're fighting to not be eliminated here. Elimination is on the line, so... the pressure is really on for these two. Bunch of cuts from Pekla and dashes back to avoid the stab. But this time the stab connects. No kill, it's a little bit of a graze, but it took out a lot of stamina. Pekla is getting tired as Glorious tries to keep applying pressure. There's Posta de Donna. And Glorious is able to punish it. Down to the last flag. A lot of close fights this tournament. Nice exchange there, and the Holy Spear connects again. That's that Holy Stand's stab there. 1-1. We are not done yet. That's a Zera there. And it looks like Pekla goes of Connor. Yeah, he was very good at landing that. Yeah, no question, the adrenaline gets really intense in these fights. There's one for Glorious. Pekla known for switching characters for the heck of it. He's used a lot of characters this tournament already. Snap cuts from Pekla. There's a hit to the arm. Push there, no kill, despite the cut. This time it doesn't land. Another push. Yeah, Pekla gets it this time. Nice. Low thrust doesn't quite connect, but I like the idea there. And then a stab to the head. Nice. Back wide to the arm, but no kill. Getting tired, Pekla. Is Glorious gonna be able to capitalize, though? It looks like Pekla's barely recovered. Big cut from Pekla, doesn't connect. Doesn't have the reach in this case. Low thrust, doesn't connect. Snap cut to the head, nice. Good sidestep from Pekla. Nice push in the snap cut. Pekla making good use of the shield to close in. That thrust to the body this time connects between the weapons there. Tries a low cut, but is a bit too far. There's a London stab. No kill, but... Nice, and then goes for an overhead stab afterwards. Pekla needs 2 more. Connor proving to be a very good pick here. He's a tough character. Nice leg cut, taking out his mobility. Pekla tries to capitalize, but that stab stops him in his tracks initially. But yeah, Pekla doesn't stop. He smells blood. He knows 1 more flag is needed, and he will win the whole thing. And Glorious will be eliminated. Good exchange there. They both exchange stabs, actually. Taking hits there. Pekla might have taken slightly more damage. It's hard to say, though. I don't think the difference is that important. But that leg cut is beautiful. Hits the leg this time. Another hit from Glorious resulting in a kill. That is 2 flags back to back. Will we see a comeback? Good blade beat, but a bit too far to capitalize, unfortunately. Pekla is also very quick at recovering from those of Connor. Tries a low cut again. That one doesn't have a lot of reach, but it is a powerful cut when it does land. At the very least, it takes Zera further away from the target, so the risk of a hit hitting his head is lower. Manages to get out the push this time with an attack, but isn't able to secure a kill. Low cut from Pekla. Getting some chip damage in there. Pekla mixing it up, making it very difficult for Glorious to defend. Push, and there's a cut to the head. Pekla takes it, but Glorious put up a really good fight towards the end there. Alright, Mike against Deaf Daisy now. Then after that, we'll do Pekla against Cheeses. And the winner of this fight after that against Insignificance. Okay, Daisy's here. I get to fight Oak after we do these loser bracket fights too, so that's gonna be a banger. Nice, Mike is here now. Mike, take the left side. Daisy, take the right. Is Deaf Daisy thinking of Laszlo? I'd be very surprised, yeah. Goes with Marina in the end. Not that Laszlo's a bad character. As we've seen, he's actually a very good character. It's just I haven't seen her play Laszlo, so. it would have been rather surprising. So this is Barabash versus Marina, a matchup that tends to favor Barabash, I would say, because of Barabash's tools. They're both kind of hesitant to engage, it looks like, making sure the other's not lagging, but I think they're good to go. I think they're just being cautious right now, especially Mike right now. The Thunder Punch, interesting try there. I don't know if it's a very good move in this matchup, though. Would have been cinema if it landed, though. I admire the effort. Goes low. Trick shot, but the windup is interrupted. That's the danger of the trick shot if you do it from too close, is sometimes your hand is just right there to be hit. They both go low, but another low cut from Mike, securing the hit. Alright, Mike tries sidestepping. Push, and gets the kill after the YY. Low cut again. Y cut to the head. Nice. Yeah, Mike's Barabash style is actually quite a bit different from mine now. He uses some moves that I don't use very much. I actually really like the idea of the trick shot. I'm not sure how well it works here, but if you can get the curve to hook around the shield, it should be able to get past, in theory. Here's how it works in practice, though. He hasn't been able to land it just yet. But I think it's mostly a distance thing, in that case. Daisy is able to defend some of those attacks, but Mike keeps the pressure on. Good snap cut from Daisy, but no kill. Nice. And actually a strike to the elbow past the shield. I think Daisy sidestepped a bit too much, but I'm not sure. That sidestep does not quite connect this time, though. Good single tempo by Daisy. Good low cut, stopping that dash in, but no kill just yet. Daisy looking very tired, though. This is Mike's chance to apply some pressure, but yeah, you gotta be careful. If your opponent recovers, it can be a bad time. The YY eventually connects there. And Mike takes it, but it's not over just yet for Daisy. Oh, somebody went back. That's okay. Alright, just switch sides. Def Daisy will be on the left now. Goes with Barabash. Oh, I hope someone didn't... That's okay. I just hope we got the right map. It kind of switched out of nowhere, it looked like. We're good to go, though. Excellent. It was weird, it highlighted the other map, just briefly. Well, some lag, I think, for Daisy. So, Mike, looks like your cut's gonna go through anyway, but if you could just move back when we unpause, that'd be helpful. Oh, that's unfortunate, yeah. There was no avoiding that one, I'm afraid. Alright, just let us know if you're good to go. Yeah, looks like she is. Good sportsmanship there by Mike. These things happen sometimes. Blade beat. Now Mike was hitting the leg there, so this might be Daisy's chance. Towards the high cut and another one there. Double. Mike with a bunch of attacks, but no hit. Another double. Good low cut, but both have taken a hit now. Sidesteps from Daisy, isn't able to secure it though. Another one, nicely done. Nice. Dashing thrust there. They both trade hits, and actually, Marina gets the better end of that. Daisy's proving to be a pretty tough Marina. She's giving some Mike some trouble here. But pushing the YY, keeping it simple. Ooh, Mike tried to finish it there, but Daisy with a good sidestep. Nice upcut. That dash and thrust there. Daisy needs one more to make it 1-1. Good knee, but can't quite get the follow-up kill. Push. Why? Good squat slash there. Punch. And Mike gets another one. It's still not over this round. If Mike gets 2 more now, it'll actually be his win. And Mike's not afraid to turn up the aggression now that he's finding some stuff that's working. Squat cut there, but ends up exposing the head. So good stab from Daisy. Somebody keeps. There we go. Yep, same characters. Good leg cut to start off, taking out the mobility. Theoretically, that makes Daisy easier to deal with, but still, Daisy can get a hit to the head and kill Mike just the same. Sometimes people get more solid at you when you take out their legs like that. They realize how important it is to defend, and so they do a much better job at doing so. Trick shot there doesn't quite connect, but nice try. Pressure from Mike. Push. Yeah, then a strike to the head. Ooh, the trick shot doesn't land, but I thought that was a really good try from Mike. The idea definitely made sense. But maybe it's just not a good move in this matchup. Good sidestep, but doesn't follow it up in time. You really gotta cue a snap cut right after that if you're gonna just dash like that. Or do one of the sidestep moves. Yeah, there's a good try at the Y there, the sidestep Y, but still takes a hit for his trouble. And there's that dash thrust after a taunt, which makes it even harder to defend against unless you're ready for it. Of course, we'll low cut there. And Mike tries to turn up the heat, but there's another kill for Daisy, and Death Daisy needs one more, and she will win this match. Good low cut, and now Mike's mobility is gone. But Death Daisy takes her time, doesn't want to rush it. Gotta make the most of this opportunity, and there's a good push. Alright, thank you, Mike, for competing. Oh, that was a good fight. Alright, Cheeses against Pekala. Okay, Cheeses is joining. So is Pekala. Okay, Pekala's keyboard. Let me just check the sides. Yeah, so Cheeses is on the left, Pekala on the right. Nice. Hekla goes with Yazuk this time. Another key character yet.
Oh yeah.
Jump there from Jesus is punished immediately. But a good hit to the head there secures him a flag. Alright, I'll just go get some water and some coffee. I'll be right back. You guys can obviously continue fighting. If I'm not back by the time you're done this round, just switch sides and keep going.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Chess just took it. Pekla tried to switch to Jan there, but wasn't quite enough. Okay, Insignificance against Death Daisy now. And yeah, thanks for letting me know. Insignificance. I was watching on my phone, so I knew, but I still appreciate it. Good to know. Okay, Insignificance will be on the left, Death Daisy on the right. Alright, there you go. Gideon versus Marina, very interesting matchup. I've noticed that Insignificance likes throwing two-piece combos with Gideon. I think sometimes that makes him a little bit predictable. That's not to say it's wrong to throw two cuts in a row. It's just that there's a time and a place for it. I mean, I often sometimes throw three cuts in a row, actually, if I sort of smell blood or I believe my opponent won't be ready for it. A really good opponent can still block all of them, but if you're throwing it too much at the wrong time, it can be very easy to counter. And sometimes if you're comboing cuts together, it's good to go high-low or to mix it up instead of making it predictable. Sweeping cuts there from Death Daisy. She gets a hit, but no kill just yet. Despite going low, Insignificance actually scores that flag. Nicely done. Nice double. And Insignificant scores another one. Oh, possible lag spike there. So just back off and long guard when you guys are ready to go. Alright, good job. Insignificance figured it out. Yeah, so I think Daisy, yeah, excellent. We're good to go. You guys can keep fighting. Nice dashing thrust there. One of Marina's best moves, and it's one of those moves where it's a bit of a knowledge check. if you don't know how to defend against it, it will hit you pretty much every time. So there's certain things you can do, like blade beating it or sidestepping, that will defend against it. You can also long guard, but you gotta make sure you square up against it. You can't move into it or anything like that.
Zabrać mi to stąd!
Good sidestep. Now Death Daisy's taking control. She's definitely more experienced here. So Insignificance has his
Zabrać mi to
work
stąd!
cut out for him. Doesn't win the trade this time though. Nicely done. It's definitely not over just yet. Gideon can make some crazy things happen. That HP that he's got and that damage he can dish out. Two-piece combo into a push, but Insignificance doesn't finish it. That was a nice try all the same, and got a bit too close there. I think he wanted to grab or something, but just wasn't quick enough. We're not done just yet. Yeah, no worries, no worries. Cancelled in the last. Yeah, it happens, it happens. But I like what you set up there. Like, the combo was very intelligently done. And if you didn't cancel it, I think it would have worked very well. But believe me, that happens to the best of us. Strike to the left arm doesn't kill, but there's the stab to the head again. Again, very tough to defend against if you don't know how. And even a player who knows how can get caught. Because you have to be ready for it. Another flag for a Death Daisy. That hit doesn't kill, nor does that one, but it does take a good chunk of health and stamina out, so... they were left arm hits, so they didn't quite kill. That stab went overhead, actually, and Insignificance goes ham, but the tired swing from Death Daisy, amazing. Gets the kill. The shield managing to save her. Ooh, got tired there from whiffing too much. Punch. Death Daisy finishes it. Nice try with the push, but it just doesn't quite connect in time. Double. True, plebeian, unless you're watching my matches, then... I get what you're trying to say. Yeah, no worries. But if you're watching my fights, somebody might get alcohol poisoning at one point, because I seem to land tired swing after tired swing sometimes. And Def Daisy's just taking control here. Insignificance has to make a comeback. But yeah, stab to the head.
Zabrać mi to...
Well, no rematch. I think he was just trying to press an attack button. Unfortunately, it is over. But GG's to both you. I think what I observed as well here is Insignificance also struggled with those high pressure situations. So sometimes he would fumble a combo or he would throw an attack when he didn't need to, and just stuff like this. And it's just the type of thing that you get better with over time. Yeah, I figured there was an accident to Insignificance. It's not a big deal. I just found it kind of funny because it was right after you lost. But yeah, I assume you were just pressing an attack input or something, and yeah, it just goes straight to rematch. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, I'm fighting Oak now. This won't be quite a banger. Okay, and I'll be on the left to start us off. Yeah, for sure. Once you get experienced, those combos will get much more reliable, and I definitely noticed some good instincts there. It was just it's just one of those things you get better at as you get practice, yeah. Anyway, this is gonna be an amazing fight. I have no doubt about it. And I'm actually gonna try Isabella here, because I find Isabella does pretty well against Laszlo, so. Yeah, of course, yeah. It happened to me as well, back in the day. I also think Oak has learned my yawn by now, so I think Isabella's a little bit more tricky. Yawn is too one-dimensional for my liking with the stabs. Alright, good round. Isabella went very well, so I'm not going to change it. Ooh, GG. That B cut blocked that Y cut. As Oak tried to punish me there. That was pretty cool. That was neutral B. Yeah, so as I thought, Isabella does better. I think Jan is too one-dimensional because often I'm trying to just throw the stab and stuff like that and use him in a very predictable way. So I think Oak has learned to counter that very well. So against somebody that good, I gotta use a more diverse toolkit, and I think Isabella brings that to the table. Not that Jan doesn't have a diverse toolkit, it's just I think Isabella brings a lot of upcuts, and compared to Jan, she has way more options in that regard. As well as stabs, too. She actually does have stabs of her own. But Isabella has that single tempo potential that Jan doesn't have. And even sidesteps with the upcuts, too. Yeah, you bet. It's Piper against Plebeian, and they both agreed to a Hassan mirror, it sounds like, so. Okay, Piper on the left, Plebeian on the right. Fortunately, one of these great fighters has to be brought down to the loser's bracket. Over where Oak was just knocked down. I love that gagging sound that Hassan makes. It's just, it's quite different from the other characters who sort of yell or whatever. Like, Hassan sounds like somebody just slashed them across the neck or something. Good exchange here. Actually, Plebeian turning up the heat there. Breaking up Piper's aggression. Yeah, and unsurprisingly, Plebeian is the true Hassan main here. Plays Hassan from time to time. So, I think Plebeian does have the edge. If Piper were to play Alex, that might be much less clear. But I appreciate Piper taking him up on that challenge to show us what Hassan can do. Push gets blocked though, the follow-up that is. And they both trade stabs, but it looks like Plebeian got stabbed in the head, so wasn't a favorable trade at all. But punishes that whiff with a hit to the head. Now we're switching sides, as usual with Piper's fights. It was over very quickly. That's always how it goes with him, whether it's in his favor or not. It's just over really quickly. Okay. Switch sides, guys. We're not done yet. Beautiful. Zera now from Plebeian. Looks like they've agreed to use their proper mains. See how this one goes. Haven't seen these two fight in a while. At least in a tournament, so. Plebeian with 2 flags already, just stealing Piper's momentum, but Piper with a bunch of upcuts just makes mincemeat of Plebeian. Piper just goes in. Plebeian tries an upcut. I think that was a good try, but yeah, the pressure that Piper brings to the table with Alex is just very hard to resist, and that stab does not even stop him. Another stab, this time it connects, no kill. Another stab, I think it's a bit of a graze, but still. Piper doesn't care. He really wants that one kill shot. Back X beats the blade down. Maybe Piper getting a bit tired, but the problem with Alex when he's tired is he can actually walk just as quickly as normal. And I'm convinced it's some kind of bug, but on the rare occasion that Alex is tired, he can just walk away, and you'll never be able to catch him. Good thrust there. And Plebeian punishes the whiff perfectly. Piper's gotta be a little bit careful not to be too overzealous. Excellent sidestep, though. Very skillfully done by Piper. Piper always makes these fights very cinematic. Big slash from Piper. It gets past the guard and then follows it up. It reaches very far, so it's hard for Zera to block it. Cutting the thrust, though, connects for Plebeian, and this is shaping up to be a closer round. Right through the face this time, stopping that cut dead. Nice from Plebeian with that single tempo counter. Tries to cut the head, but Piper actually stuns him, and they both do a push. So they have both been stunned, but there's the jump, and Piper manages to get another kill. So now it's literally down to the last flag. That thrust is dodged by Piper skillfully, and wow. Down to the last round. sticking with the mains as they probably should. It was cool to see the Hassan mirror, but I think both will agree it's a much more even contest when they use characters they're experienced with. Piper goes for a dash in, but Plebeian with a beautiful follow-up after that initial hit. Blasting through the guard. Down forward Y. Gets past Zera's guard. Alex is very good at finding those angles off of a sidestep. Yeah, it seems like if Plebeian can aim that thrust just right, it will go straight to the head, and it will kill Alex in one hit. And prevent him from getting any sort of double, but if Alex is able to sidestep a little bit, or somehow get it to graze his head, then it will not kill. Or if it hits another target besides the head. Maybe it kills to the hand too, but it's less likely to hit the hand. Sidesteps the stab. That's something Zera does not like, but still, Plebeian keeps his cool. Very good spacing there. Back Y, good punish, but no kill. Long guard there. But actually, it's not able to stop. I think Piper broke it briefly. Another thrust there by Plebeian, very smart. Alex obviously being very weak to stabs, so it's a good idea in general. Going with upcuts as well is usually a good idea, but this time it doesn't work. Piper's able to block it. Alex's guard is very difficult to get past. Now we're down to the wire. Long guard by Piper. Going with upcuts. That stab just misses thanks to the sidestep, and they get into a bit of a punching match there. But Piper's able to get the better end. Once it gets chaotic, Piper often does have the edge. Against most people. That thrust runs him right through, but no kill for Plebeian. Very unfortunate. That was a nice try. Good patience by Plebeian. We're down to the last flag. Regardless of what happens here. Piper doing some head bobs. Which, if Plebeian went for a stab right then, that would have been bad. I think Plebeian's trying to be patient, though, so I don't think he'll fall for stuff like this anymore. Piper will have to be more subtle. Tries to go low, but he's out of measure. Nice try. I think that would have landed if he was closer, but Plebeian is able to wait him out. And amazing fight. But Plebeian is able to take it. And I'm sure he breathes a sigh of relief there, as most people do when they fight Piper, because it's a tough fight no matter what. Okay, Oak against Chessus now. Alright, Oak is here. Just need Chessus to show up. If not, I can also... nice, he's here. Beautiful. Piper will fight Death Daisy right after this. And believe it or not, we're nearing the end of the tournament. We'll be in the semifinals in the losers bracket after these two fights. And Oak will be on the left, Chessus on the right. So, tough fight here for him. But that's what happens at this stage of the competition. Definitely do not envy him. But we've seen this matchup between these two quite a few times. I remember in the Shogun 2 event that I did, Chessus did extremely well and was so close to winning, but Oak made the most amazing comeback I've ever seen. And Oak was just killing everybody that event. single-handedly won the whole campaign for the Takeda clan. And I've been thinking, since I've got more time on my hands than I expected, I think I'll try and revive that event. I've been holding off on it because it does take a bit of preparation. So I'll try to announce it on like Friday or something so we can get some prep going for that. I also need to prepare the map and stuff like that. But actually, we found that the event does progress pretty efficiently once we get started, so I think it should be doable. And then maybe we'll continue it after Sunday, so I think we'll do it Sunday. And then we could continue it on a Monday or something, or a Tuesday. Because I think I'll have one of those days free, unless I get called in at some point. Then that whole plan could get cancelled, but I don't think I will, so. A lot of unknowns with this strike going on, so. Can change very quickly. That's why I'm always hesitant to commit to something that'll take a lot of preparation, but I'm pretty confident that they're not going to reach a deal by early next week, so. There's rumors, and of course they're just rumors, they don't really mean much, but there's rumors that it may last until late October, so. Would be pretty crazy if it lasted longer, but it's not impossible. Anyway, back to the fight. Very even so far. Chess is proving to be a very good Samuel. This is actually the exact matchup that we saw when Chess was fighting Oak in that event. Chess is doing incredible work with Samuel. He's backed in the corner now. Oak's trying to get him to overthrow there, but it doesn't quite work. Those retreat attacks that Sam has are very good, even the back X. And it's not just the, obviously the back Y is the most famous one, and for good reason, but he's got back A, he's got back X, a lot of good options for that. He's even got a back B, which I don't think it's his best, but I could see some niche situations where this time back X is not paying off as Laszlo reaches him. Tries to dash in to get the kill, but Oak just says no. And Oak takes the first round here, but it was very close. Alright, switch sides. Both fighters know this is a very important match for both of them, as elimination is on the line. They're definitely fighting like that is the case, so it's very good to see. But Oak gets one flag, and this is the problem you can run into. You make progress against Oak, but then he gets momentum back, and when that happens, Oak is very dangerous. Just whenever he has momentum, or whenever he's got initiative on you, or he's dictating the pace of the fight, like you're just in the palm of his hand the whole time, that's where it becomes nearly impossible to stop him. And there's another one for Oak. So Chessus has to find some way to get control back. Easier said than done. Good thrust there by Oak. Ooh, hit to the head. Alright, I'll be right back, guys. Just keep fighting. back, and this is a very pivotal moment here as Oak is about to win, but Chess has just got a flag. It looks like by no means is it over. There's a hit down to the last flag. Once more. What more can you ask for? This is like Hall of Fame worthy stuff. There's a stab from Oak. Doesn't get the kill. And oh my goodness, Oak took it, but Chess just did an amazing job. Oh, it looks like somebody turned on the camera thing by mistake. That's okay. That's easy to turn off. Yeah, Oak took it 2-0, but that doesn't tell you the whole story. That was a series of incredibly close saber fights there, so it really doesn't get better than that. So, GG's, guys. You're sick, man. Calm down. From your controller flying. Wow, okay. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, it was a really intense fight, so. Hope the controller's okay, though. Alright. So, Piper will be on the left, Daisy on the right. And although technically whoever wins should be fighting Oak right after this, I think we'll move to the winner's bracket so I can do my fight against Plebeian, just to give the fighters a break in the loser's bracket. At some point, somebody will have to fight like twice or whatever, but I think we'll delay it for these two. So Piper on the left, Daisy on the right. Goes of Marie. Alex has a pretty clear advantage over Marina, so. Oh, let me just fix this camera thing, guys. There you go. Yeah, alright, you're good to go. Should be fixed. Good stab to the body there by Daisy. Glad to see the Marie as well. Obviously, Marie has some issues. That's why she switched off from Marie for now, but I think in this matchup, Marie can make some things work. Although it is not easy, I don't think, if Alex starts getting blade beats like that in. That is what Piper will want to do here. Just to, well, he always wants to close in on his opponents. That's literally his fighting style, but the matchup is also such that it's very important that Piper at some point close the distance. So it's a lot of pressure on Daisy to keep distance and to get some clean thrusts in there. When Piper goes low, it's actually a good tactic against Marie. Her leg is pretty exposed. That's a trade, though, usually not very good for Marie, but that low thrust able to stop Piper in his tracks. Bunch of stabs there. Daisy, another stab. Cuts there, they both trade. Daisy, though, seems to have gotten the worst end, getting tired there, and dashes in to try and do a stab, I assume, but Daisy was out of stamina, so doesn't happen often with Marie. Usually she's dead long before she's out of stamina, but... And also her stamina pool is actually very good, so it is rare for that reason as well. Piper eventually able to get control and win it. But that was actually a very close one, considering it was Marie. Okay, let's switch. Back to Alex, no surprise yet. And like I said, Marina is actually at quite the disadvantage against Alex, so... I think in this context, then Marie does make some sense. And to my knowledge, Def Daisy hasn't played much Marta. If you're used to Marie, Marta is actually not very intuitive to play, so I think Marie is the smart pick here if you're going to use a rapier for her. It's just with Marta you can accidentally cut when you're trying to thrust, because the moves that cut are often inputs that with Marie you'd be stabbing with, so it's a very different character. And this is the last matchup you want to play where you're just throwing random cuts of a rapier, because that just gives Alex an opportunity to close in. You gotta make the best use of the reach that you have. And actually this cut works to the head, but the point still stands. You don't want to be trading cuts with Alex. You want to be using all of the reach that you have for the most part and throwing thrusts, not moving your blade offline with the slower cuts, and which often do less damage too with the rapier, so you really don't want to be resorting to that for the most part. Daisy has the lead once more, but Piper just closes in. He knows that's his key to victory. Dashes in, taints that thrust. There's a blade beat, and then a thrust into the cut there. Piper just going ham. Getting a lead back, and Piper, reminder, does need to win one more round, and he will eliminate Daisy, so a lot of pressure on Daisy here. But she's not making it easy. Nice try, the low thrust. Good follow-up with that stab. Stunning Piper. Piper just keeps going. Nice dash thrust, though. Piper just going ham with the cuts. A little bit out of measure, though, and Daisy punishes it right away. Very nicely done. Daisy needs one more to make it 1-1. That thrust is beat down there, it looks like. Deflected by Piper. And now it's down to the wire. Love these matches coming down to the last flag. Piper with long guard, and that cut reaches so far, and it's very tough for Marie to block it, it looks like. So Piper takes it. I think Daisy just had to take initiative there, maybe. But it's easier said than done against somebody like Piper. Because obviously Daisy was trying to defend that, and it's not easy, it looks like, so. Still a very good effort. That was a close match there. That round could have been anybody's. Yeah, Daisy undeniably played very well. Alex is just a very powerful opponent. Yeah, I'm sure it was. Yeah, I'm glad Daisy still had fun there. Oak, you're actually not up? I'm deciding to do my fight with Plebeian first. But I'll let you in very soon after this one. So I'll take the left side and Plebeian will take the right. Very excited to see what Plebeian will bring to the table here. Blue Zera, it looks like. Okay, nice round. Nice. It's 1-1. Oh, nice. GG. Very close fights there. And now we'll do Oak against Piper as I'm down in the loser's bracket. Plebeian has made it to the finals. So congrats to Plebeian. But we've got a banger here between Piper and Oak. Very excited to see this matchup as usual. And I have no idea who's going to win. Yeah, that was a great longsword fight too. I do think Isabella might have been a slight mistake there, but I still am happy I at least gave it a try. That was a fun fight all the same. At least it was a mistake if I wanted to the most optimal character. At least for me. But the longsword fight was still very, very fun. so I don't regret it that much. Yeah, as you said, Oak on the left, Piper on the right. Yeah, you did great. And I've got my work cut out for me. Is that a Connor from Oak? Yeah, thanks, Plugin. I love that moment too when I used low guard and we were both just waiting to see if the other would make a mistake before we engaged. That was so cinematic. That was like one of the moments of the tournament right there. Another one for Oak. Very interesting to see the Connor here. I think it's clearly intended as a counter to Alex with the stabs. Although I do think Alex does have some tools against him, so Connor definitely has to be careful. Goes low again. Yeah, that's one of the big problems that Connor might have. Low again, but it's a double. Somehow Oak is able to get a double out of that. Oh, again. Piper's making it very difficult for Oak, who's forced to play defensively, I would say. But Piper keeps finding ways to set up those leg cuts. And although Connor does have some ways around them, it's still not easy, and actually some of these side steps are also very dangerous for Connor. Alex doesn't necessarily have to hit the leg, but the leg is a prime target, as we're seeing here. And so the Connor might have been a bit of a mistake on Oak's part, but I do like the thinking. The stabs could have been pretty devastating if Piper wasn't ready for them. But it's still not over yet. Goes back to Connor, though. Interesting from Oak. Yeah, Piper, yeah, exactly. Even if it's Connor, like, he just goes. Double. Hits the leg, but... Also, I saw you in the chat earlier, Venator. Glad to see you hanging out here and there. I gotta get that Ghost of Yotai game. Love Hellish Quart, but I still have a hunger for another sword fighting game, and that one will definitely be the game that I need. Kingdom Come Deliverance is obviously fantastic too, but I've basically finished the DLC content, so I need something new. Deadliest War, yeah, I actually have that one. Although I'm not a fan of the show, because the show is just, it makes a complete mockery of history, but the games are actually very fun to play. Ghost of Tsushima, yeah, Ghost of Yotai is the game after that one. And apparently they improved on it, so... And there's more variety of weapons too. Like spears, great swords, 2 katanas, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, I can still recommend that one. If you wanted an actual good Assassin's Creed game that takes place in Japan, Ghost of Tsushima is the one you should play. Because it does have assassinations in it and stuff too, so you can play like that. I think there is. Well, there's at least the single greatsword, but my understanding is there's also the single katana, so... But I'm not sure. Can you have 3? Be like Zoro from One Piece. That'd be nuts. There's actually apparently there's a technique in Japanese martial arts that is called 3 swords. But what it basically is, you go to your katana, you like throw your wakizashi, and then you discard your katana and a grapple, and then use your tanto. So it's 3 swords, quote unquote. But really, you're just going to your dagger, is what you're doing. But they're all quote unquote katanas because in Japan, katana just means single edge. So everything that has a single edge is a katana. It's like Dao in Chinese. What we call a katana is actually the uchi katana in Japanese. But Piper still took it, as I got sidetracked about Japanese swordsmanship. But GG, guys. Now I gotta fight Piper, which I am excited for, but this could end very badly. I'm on the left to start us off, if you're ready to go, Piper. And you're on the right. There's no other fight we can do, but if you do need a minute, let me know. Good to go? Excellent. Yeah, I kind of figured. Always like to ask, though. Oh, that was weird. Something on my end briefly caused a strange input stuff going on. But anyway. Whoa, that was a crazy interaction there. Oh my god. Just Piper coming in with punches. He's not even interested in sword fighting. Alex's punches have quite the impact too. They knock you back pretty far. Yeah, Piper really does. He does better on NA than European hosts somehow, despite being British. Oh my gosh. That could have been very bad. Nice, nice. 1-1. Oh my god. Those leg voids are scary. I gotta be so careful cutting low. Oh my god. GG, Piper. That was close too, actually. If that cut hit, that could have been bad news. Amazing fight. The thing about Ghost of Tsushima is I don't like how it misrepresents what it means to be a samurai. They keep talking about how you don't stab people in the back if you're a samurai or you don't poison people, but that's literally what samurai did all the time, so it just seemed like nonsense plot stuff. Especially during the Mongol invasion, samurai were actually pretty vicious to the Mongols, the Chinese, and the Koreans who were invading, so they were not afraid to just gain up on individuals and take their heads and do all sorts of stuff like that to them, so or fight from fortifications. Like they did all that stuff and more, so they even ambushed Mongol ships and boarded them and all sorts of and attacked at night and like you name it, they did it. Yeah, but it seemed like all the other samurai hated him though for behaving like that. So they're like, "Oh, only a thief fights like this or whatever." Nonsense. And then the shogunate got angry at him about it as well, which just doesn't make sense. Like the shogunate would give a shit what happens on Tsushima of all places anyway. It was kind of a footnote in the whole conflict. I don't know. I think the real samurai are just way more interesting than what the game was trying to portray them as. I am glad the game at least lets you play how you want though, so you can't complain about that. It's just like you can do whatever you want or use whatever tactics you want, so that's good. It's not like those Assassin's Creed games where they're like, your character would not kill civilians, and then it somehow desyncs you the moment you do so, despite the fact you're playing an assassin. It's the most stupid thing. Anyway, Plebeian, you made it to the finals, so you are on the left. You know how this goes. I have to beat you twice. If you beat me once, it's all over. So, wish you good luck with that. The one that cracked me up especially is that Edward would not kill civilians in Assassin's Creed, by the way. Even though he's a pirate, of all things. Not just an assassin, he's a pirate. You're telling me a pirate is not going to kill civilians. I find that very hard to believe. That's like part of being a pirate. I mean, some were a bit more honorable than others, but they still were not above just murdering people. That's literally their job description, so... Anyway, I could rant about Assassin's Creed for a long time. I should focus. Okay, switching sides. That was interesting. Okay, still gotta win one more though. It's not over. Let me just score this here. I'm pretty sure I'm on the left side now. Yeah, so I'm on the left, so we keep the same sides. Just pick your character. Alright, we're switching sides now. I need one more to win this, but Plebeian's by no means out yet. You need 2, because it's another best of 3. We're doing 2 best of 3s essentially, Plebeian. Yeah, so you're not out yet. You've got a lot of chances still, so. Alright, take the left, Plebeian. You're on the left now. If you're still in the parsec, excellent. Yeah, but you cannot afford to lose again. So make sure you fight at your best. Not that I think you won't. Of course, you've been doing very well, so. GG, plebeian. Nice close round to end it there. Yeah, GG guys. That was a fantastic tournament. Glad I survived too, the commentary and stuff despite being sick. Yeah, that actually went pretty well, so had to sit there and lose 7 times in a row. Yeah, that's how I do my double eliminations. I always it gives you the maximum chance in theory to win, because you didn't lose your life, if you will. You didn't lose a match, so you still get to go in with that second life. But I get it. It can obviously draw out the fight a bit. I think it adds intensity to it, but I get it. Still, you got second place. That is very commendable. Piper got third. I don't know how he does so well on American host compared to EU, but very well deserved victory as well for Piper. And obviously, Oak got fourth place. Still a good spot to be. Chess is fifth, and Daisy got fifth as well. And actually, was it insignificant? I keep forgetting his name. You know who I'm talking about. He got seventh place, Peckler seventh, Glorious Purpose ninth, and Mike ninth place. Thank you everybody for showing up, and I won't keep you guys any longer. I'll see you next time. It was a great tournament, and if you guys noticed any like cinematic fights that should be in the Hall of Fame, because I'm sure there's some. I feel like I missed some of them because I had to be away, but if there was a fight that stood out, let us know, and we can add it to the Hall of Fame. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.